Hey y'all, welcome back to another video with Paris Monet. As always, before I even get into anything, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe and like button down below, comment, all that good stuff. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you for tuning in. So today I will be talking about the crux of everything, basically what they don't tell you when you're getting a BBL slash what you need to know. Again, y'all already know I'm here giving y'all all the information, every little detail about what I've been through on my own experience, so that it can help you guys navigate the waters when and if you decide to go through this procedure yourself. Now, y'all will see me looking over to the side because I have all my notes written down on my Mac so that I don't forget to tell you guys anything. I made sure to, make sure I mention and wrote down to mention everything that I could think of. Now, I'm only, as of today, doing this video a month and 2 days. So I'm sure I'm going to come across some other things, and when and if that happens, I will be doing like a part 2 of what you should know or what you need to know slash what they don't tell you. So yeah, we're just gonna get right into it because I do have kind of a lot of information, but again, I just want y'all to be very informed. And as I'm always saying, no matter what you hear me say, make sure you do your own research. It is very, very, very important when you're doing such a huge surgery like this. So a little disclaimer I want to give everybody as well. Everything that I'm going to mention in this video is my specific experience. Now, the point of me telling you all my experience is that you may or may not have the same experience. You may or may not go through the same things that I'm going through. So if you do happen to go through the same experience, or know someone going through the same experience, that is really what this video is for, to help you out, give you ideas, and just like I said, let you guys know things that are not really mainstream talked about when you're doing your research on getting Lipo 360 and BBL. What else? So I'm going to start off with health issues. Okay, so before you're having this surgery, or when you're deciding to have this surgery, you want to make sure and take into account any and all health issues that you have. Now, me, I had no health issues. I'm very healthy per se, but the only problem I do have is I have severe scoliosis. Now, it wasn't taken care of when I was a child, and that was just because the doctors didn't take it as seriously back then as they should have. And now I'm to the point where it's pretty bad, and there's no fixing it unless I want to go through like some big crazy back surgery, and that's not gonna happen. You guys are wondering how I'm sitting talking to you. I am sitting on my BBL pillow. You will see me probably get up, out, up and down or whatever. That is because after a while it does get a little sore from sitting. And also I wanted to just let you guys know to stay tuned to the end because I will be doing a 1 month body reveal. So make sure y'all stay tuned. But back to what I was saying. So I have scoliosis, and it's pretty severe, and like I said, there's nothing really to do about it at this point besides have some crazy surgery, which I'm not gonna do, because that would have me out of it for who knows how long, and that I'm not willing to do. So and I will put in pictures here, probably here, of what my spine looks like, just to give you guys an idea. So the reason I'm saying this is because your health issues, or in my case, my scoliosis, does play a role in this surgery. Now, I will also be putting in pictures of what it or how it has affected me. So because my spine is crooked, I have 2 curves, one in my lower back, and then I have an opposite curve in my upper back. So it goes basically like this, and with that, it pushes out my left rib, meaning everything on this side is kind of pushed forward. My rib cage kind of pokes a little bit on this side, and this side is, my right side is just regular. Now, again, that's something my ladies, if you have scoliosis, you want to take into account, because no matter what fat they suck out, even if I got a tummy tuck, it wouldn't matter unless I do one of those crazy procedures like some people do and get their ribs removed, which I would never do. But that's just something that is unavoidable. You will have, you know, it will protrude no matter what procedure you have. Now, luckily, mine doesn't protrude like crazy to where it's like, oh my God, it looks so bad, or whatever the case may be. But it is noticeable to me because I know it's there. You know what I'm saying? So, and I will show you guys at the end when I show you my body. If you guys can see it, I hope you guys can see it. Because like I said, it's not that noticeable unless you're staring really hard or you know, it's you. So of course you notice it more. But that's very important because it's kind of like you don't want to set yourself up for crazy expectations. Oh, I'm gonna have a washboard flat belly. Even if you're having a tummy tuck, oh, I'm gonna have a washboard flat belly, and your ribs poke out. You're not gonna have a washboard flat belly because of that simple reason, you know. So and again, I knew that going in. I spoke to Dr. Harrell about it. I asked him, and it might have been a dumb question at the time, but that's how I know now. So yeah, I did speak to Dr. Harrell about it, and you know, I was like, oh, is my rib or my scoliosis still gonna poke out? And he was very honest with me. You know, we'll get the subcutaneous fat from over it, but the rib itself will probably poke a little bit because it protrudes. So that's something he would not be able to fix, like I said, unless I was getting a rib removed, which he does not do, and I would never do. So yeah, that's just a little note I want to give, you know, everybody. Make sure you take all your health issues into considerations, or whether you have scoliosis or different things like that. I will say though, like for example, certain health issues does disqualify you from having certain procedures. Now, don't quote me 100%, but I do believe that people with diabetes are not, or like if it's really severe diabetes, are not allowed to have procedures like this because people with diabetes take longer to heal, which can lead into infection and all kinds of stuff. So little things like that, you know, you want to look into based off of your specific health issues. All right, next, the lipo itch. Now, when I did my research, I did see a lot of women talk about it, but they kind of like brushed over it. I need you guys to understand the lipo itch is very, very annoying. In my experience, again, there were a couple nights where not even in pain, the itch itself had me ready to cry. Like, it was that bad. And you have on your foams, your FAJA, and there's absolutely nothing you can do. You're itching through it using back scratchers and nothing works. You know, I've gone through maybe about 6 to 7 tubes of cortisone extra strength cream, and then I moved to this Aveeno like itch relief cream, and that was extra strength. And now in one of the groups that I'm in, I saw someone suggest using like the Palmer's itch relief oil, so now I'm trying that. But really, honestly guys, I don't think there's much you can do about it. And the only reason I'm saying that is because our skin is healing, especially, you know, when you get lipo. So it's going to itch. It's just like with anything, when that's healing, it itches. So, I mean, but this itch is definitely more like a itch you can't scratch, if that makes sense. So that does make it more frustrating. And for me, I will say, like, I will be fine. Not fine during the day. I would have my itches, but like fine during the day. And at night is when I would really start to like itch, and it would really drive me nuts to the point where I'm like, what the fuck? But it's just like, I mean, you would think that like itching, like really itch is not that serious. Like right now, y'all see me scratching. Like you would say like, oh, an itch is not that bad. No, this itch, it's different. And I want to fully prepare you all for that itch. Like my mom, for example, I started itching very early. My mom didn't start itching till like maybe just like a week and some change ago. And she's like, oh, I see now. I'm like, yeah, because for some reason, it came on for me a lot earlier. But it's no joke. And you know, like I said, she didn't start itching till a week ago. Everyone's body is different. You may or may not start itching if you don't, thank the heavens, because That lipo itch is really, really no joke. And that was something I had to make sure to tell you guys. Now, swelling. As y'all saw in previous videos, from the anesthesia, my lip was swollen, my eyes were puffy. You can kind of see, like right now, my eyes are puffy. And that's because I just woke up not too long ago. I, like I said, am a month and 2 days post-op today, and I still wake up eyes swollen, which is really weird, like face swollen. It's really, really, really weird. I don't think I saw a lot of people say that they experienced this when I did my research before having the surgery, but it's something I'm experiencing. I will also point out another thing. I went back to work 6 days post-op, which I will get into either in this video or another video, but you want to make sure that basically you're moving, you're drinking your water. So those first initial days, that first week, I was moving, I was drinking my water. I went back to work 6 days post-op, was moving. So yes, my face was still swollen when I woke up, but like my thighs weren't swollen, my ankles weren't swollen, none of that. Then I went to work for like maybe, I think it was like 3 or 4 days. And I'm like, okay, I came back a little too early. So I took another week, almost 2 weeks off. And within that 2 weeks, I realized that out of nowhere, it's probably the second day I stayed home, I blew up. And I'll put in pictures, I blew up. My thighs became huge, swollen ham hocks. My ankles became huge, just everything was swollen. My wrist, my bracelet was like leaving marks. It was really bad. And it took a while for me to sit back and kind of like think about it. Like, why am I didn't swell up like this right after surgery. Why am I swelling up like this now? And that is because when I took that time back off, I'm just home walking like from my room to the kitchen, or you know what I'm saying? Just walking around my house. I was no longer being as active as I was in that first week post-op. So I guess my body started retaining that fluid, and it definitely showed, so you want to make sure whether you go back to work, whenever you go back to work, or whether you're staying home, that you're active, because that plays a big role in the swelling. Like I said, my face still swells, my legs are no longer swollen, my ankles are no longer swollen, and that is because I'm fully back to work now. I'm active. I'm drinking a bunch of fluid, so I don't have to worry about the body parts, but my face still, when I wake up, it looks like I just came from under anesthesia for whatever reason. So, I'll see how long that lasts, but there's really not much I can do about it. I just I just make sure I wake up with enough time for my puffiness to go down before I go to work, so I don't look like I just got punched in my face or something. I mean, that's really all I can do for that. But yeah, make sure you're staying active. It's very, very important. You don't want your body to retain those fluids, so it's very important to stay active. And it doesn't feel good swollen. It literally feels like your skin is stretching. And also, when you stay swollen for a certain amount of time, for people in the healthcare, they'll know what it looks like or what I'm referring to. And I'll try to find a picture to put it in as well. When your skin stays swollen for an excess amount of time, the skin around it, like your actual skin, starts to kind of form, I don't want to call it a scab, but it forms like a harder protective skin around it, so that when your skin goes back down to its regular size, you're going to have like your skin start peeling and things like that, and you don't want that to happen. Which is why when I noticed that I started crazily, moisturizing, making sure my legs and my ankles and everything stayed moisturized, and then I started wearing, peep game, my knee pads on my thighs. I didn't go buy some extra high compression socks because I already have a bunch of regular knee length compression socks. I just put on my compression socks and then pulled my knee pad up to my thigh and kind of like pulled it over the shorts of the FAJA, and it was like a continuous compression from my ankle up until my groin. So that's what really helped me push out the fluid as well. Now, breakouts. Again, I don't think I saw anyone refer to this when doing my research before surgery. So I definitely wanted to bring it to you guys' attention. You can't really tell in this video for some reason. Let me come a little closer. But I have broken out, or am breaking out like crazy ever since the surgery. Now, like, I'm not saying this to be stuck up or whatever, but before surgery, I have very clear skin. Like, I may or may not get like one pimple here, one at a time here, whatever. But other than that, like, very clear skin. Ever since the surgery, oh my God, like, I'm breaking out in multiple places at once and all kinds of stuff. So my point being saying that is, you just want to make sure that you're keeping up with your skincare. You want to make sure you stay moisturized, make sure you're being cleansed, you're keeping the cleanliness. Not to say that I wasn't doing any of those things, but those are just pointers to help fight what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I'm breaking out. I had tried to sit back and like think of different things that could have caused it, but I still do my same skincare. I still try to not put dirty hands in my face and, all that different kinds of stuff. So I really haven't figured out why I'm breaking out so much after surgery. I think it's just, like I said, I still wake up my face swollen. So in the morning, it's like I find a new pimple or something every morning, literally, along with my face being swollen. So I really don't know what the correlation is. I don't know if there's a correlation, but again, I'm just letting you guys know that's my experience, and just so that you guys know to keep up with your skincare and making sure that whatever you did before surgery, you continue to do it after. You don't fall off while you're healing, because you got a new body and then you start breaking out. Like, who wants to deal with that? So just make sure you're keeping up with all, everything that you were doing beforehand, before surgery. Keep up with that after surgery. All right. Now, the next one. Now, when I say be careful, like, I mean, be careful in general. So I'm going to let y'all know right now. 3 days post-op, I was getting out of the car, a Uber. No, maybe it was 4 days. Getting out of the Uber, going to my massage. And the arm rails and vans. The Uber was a van, and the arm rails you can use to get in. I was backing out, and I bumped the hell out of my butt. Like, when I tell you I wanted to cry, it hurt so bad. After that, I went, and I told you I went back to work at 6 days post-op. Bumped my butt again at work twice, which is another reason why I'm like, yeah, I need to go back home and finish healing. I'm at work, I'm being clumsy. I don't know if it's because I never had this much booty back there, but I'm like, yeah, I'm too clumsy with it. I keep hitting it on stuff. This is not working for me. So that's another reason that I, took more time off. But anyway, I bumped my butt really bad, and I'll put in pictures here. And it caused the spot where I bumped my butt for the fat to die. Now, for all of you who don't know, and again, do your research, please, on all of the complications you can have after surgery. Luckily, this is the only complication I have, and it was self-made. It wasn't one that came from surgery, but do your research so that you know what to look for, the telltale signs and all that good stuff. So me bumping my butt that hard caused the fat cells in the one spot, probably as big as a quarter, to die. So it got black, and it got not black, but it got dark purple, and it got hard. As of now, it's the hardness is going down. It's still a little dark, but it's not as bad as it was, and it's healing itself from the inside, basically. I did know exactly what was going on as soon as I saw it start forming, because, like I said, I did extensive research beforehand. I'm like, yeah, this may be fat necrosis. Let me go see Dr. Harrell, because you guys do not have your follow-up appointments with the actual doctor. You have it with his nurse practitioner or whatever. But I, because of my situation, set up an appointment with the doctor to see him. I went and saw him. That was maybe a little after 2 weeks. And he did confirm exactly what I thought, that the fat cells in that area had died because of how hard I hit it. And he informed me that there's 2 ways basically that it could heal. It could heal itself inward, and it kind of have a little dip, and it would basically look like a butt dimple, you know, which I still have butt dimples, which I love, by the way, because it makes my booty look more natural. But so it would basically just look like a butt dimple, which I'm fine with. I'm like, okay, I can deal with that. Worst comes to worst, it would like protrude and kind of be like when you rub your hand over it, you would feel it kind of. So those are the 2 ways he told me it could heal. Right now, I'm leaning more towards the butt dimple healing. It hasn't went in or anything. It's still very smooth, but I feel like if it was going to get bigger, it would have. So I feel like that's why I'm leaning more towards the other way of healing, which if it doesn't dip in, that's fine with me too. If it just stays regular like it is, like I said, right now, it doesn't look like a butt dimple. It hasn't changed the shape of my butt or what my butt looks like or anything like that. It just has that little discoloration. Kind of looks like a bruise basically right there. And that's the only way you would know that it's there. But if you rub your hand over my bum right there, it doesn't feel like anything at all. So, you know, it's very important. And I say all this to say it's very important to do your research on any and all complications that you can have from the surgery. Seromas, fat necrosis, just so many different things. And but those are like the 2 major things when you're talking about BBL and lipo. But there are plenty more, so please do your research. I'm about to kick my dog out, y'all. But yeah, so you want to make sure you're doing that research so that you know what to look for. Like I said, my complication was self-inflicted, like a dummy. But you know, this can happen without you hitting your butt. So that's why I made sure to, you know, let you guys know this so that you can know to do that research and look and go over any and all complications that you could have. Of course, we don't want to have complications, and thank God I have had no complications. But, you know, besides that, but, you know, you just want to know and be prepared so that you know what to look for. What's next? Like I said, I would get into this a little bit. Don't go back to work too early. It really is important that you take time to heal. I realized that I really did become a lot sleepier, and I didn't realize it when I went back to work. But when I took the time off and actually stayed home and slept, I realized, like, dang, I'm sleepy. And that's because our bodies are healing. Like, we need time. We need the time to sleep. We need the time to heal. We need the time to take it easy. You don't want to baby yourself, but you do need to take it easy, you know, that initial first month. So please, y'all, do not go back to work too early. I went back 6 days post-op. People at work were like, what? Like, girl, you're bugging. I'm like, I know. But, you know, lesson learned. I made the mistake so that y'all don't have to make that mistake. Please do not go back to work too early. It is very important that you take the time that you need off, okay? Like I said, yes, it's nice to keep active. If you want to keep active, go take your butt to the park. You don't have to go to work to stay active or whatever, you know. Go to the park, walk at the park, come back home, relax. You know what I'm saying? I suggest, like, if I would have did it again, sorry, I'm trying to fix my position and I'm starting to get a little pain from sitting on this pillow. But if I had to suggest anything, any amount of time, I should say, I would suggest taking off at least for Lipo 360 and BBL at least 2 to 3 weeks if you can. Because in total, that's what I ended up taking off, but I just took it off separate because I was off, then went to work, then was off again. So, you know, just take as much time as you feel like you need. You know your pain tolerance, you know your body more than anyone else. So take as much time as you feel that you need and that you can afford. That is another thing that you can afford, okay? Think about this and put this into perspective before surgery. You don't want to pay for your surgery and then be like, oh, I can only take off a week because I can't afford it. Like, don't do it to yourself. Factor that in when planning surgery so you know what money you need to have in reserves, or you know what you need to do. You can make a plan when it comes to financials if you decide to take off 2-3 weeks or more, okay? What else? Choosing your FAJA. Now, choosing your FAJA is very important because you don't want it to change the shape of your butt. I had the FAJA that came from the center, then I bought another one from Pretty Girl Curves the day after, and to date, the Pretty Girl Curves one is the fave, my fave, the way that it like fits my butt, but there are a couple things that I don't like about it, but it's my fave in aspects of how it fits, you know, and shapes my butt. And then I bought a third FAJA off of Amazon, which I returned because I'll put in pictures here. Y'all, it gave me chicken butt. Like, and this is what I mean when I say be careful choosing your FAJA. If you think it don't fit right, or if it looks like it's not fitting right, or it don't feel right, don't wear it, because this initial first like 3 months after surgery is very important when it comes to the shaping of your body. You don't want to wear something that's going to change your shape and make it a detrimental shape. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want something that's cutting you in certain places wrong or too tight. You want it to be comfortable, but you want it to give it enough, you want it to give you enough compression so that you know it's keeping down the swelling. But shaping is very, very important. When you're buying online, you're gonna buy some that don't fit right. You're gonna have to send back, obviously. But, you know, that's why you do your research, you look at reviews and different things like that. Although that FAJA I had to send back had good reviews, it just didn't work for my shape, you know? So I sent it back. And then I found like a Spanx one, which I am wearing now, and you guys will see at the end of the video in my body reveal. This is now my new fave. The only thing I don't like about it is because it cups under my bum. It cups really hard, but it doesn't change the shape or anything like that. So, and I like how it has so much compression, but it's not like the FAJA where I'm clasping all these things and I'm uncomfortable and like this and like that. And I wear this now without my foams and boards. So now that I'm a month post-op, I only wear my FAJA with my foams and boards at night. But to be honest, like last night, I slept with just the Spank one on because it's just so comfortable, but it still gives me the compression that I need. So I really don't know if I'm gonna do like the foams and boards anymore now that I'm over a month post-op. But you know, I'm just gonna take it day by day and see how I'm feeling and go from there. But choosing your FAJA is very important. You gotta make sure it fits you correctly. My Pretty Girl one was measured to me in the store. So if you can go to the store, of course, do that, you know? It's better because you're right in there. They can size you and all that good stuff, and you get your board, your foams. And I also bought my first set of foams and boards from them as well. So if you can go into a store and get fitted for a FAJA, that's always best. But if not, shop online, look at your reviews, buy a couple, see which ones fit best, or, you know, fit your shape better, and then send back the ones that don't. It's that simple. Now, tobacco, guys. Now this one, I will say I am a hypocrite, okay? Because I don't smoke cigarettes, but I do vape. And it only has 2.4% nicotine in it. But again, no matter whether I'm a hypocrite or not, I just want to let y'all know this information, because don't do as I do better. But I'm letting y'all know what's up. You are not, they would like for you to keep off of nicotine a month before, or tobacco, I should say, tobacco, nicotine, whatever, a month before surgery and a month after surgery. I did it the month before surgery. Now, I would say that I started smoking my vape pen post-op, probably 2 weeks post-op, which is shame on me. But, and I did start putting grabba back in my blunts, Fanta back in my blunts, around the same time. But as I said, the reason you don't, or you should not, they don't want you to, is because nicotine constricts your blood vessels. When you're healing, you need all the blood rushing to these areas, your stomach, your new fat cells. You need all the blood, as much blood perfusing to these areas. And when you smoke nicotine, it constricts your blood vessels and it slows down that blood flow, which may or may not cause complications. Now, if you start smoking nicotine a day post-op, don't look crazy if you get a lipo burn or something, or don't look crazy if you fat starts dying, or if you got a tummy tuck and your incisions start opening or something. Don't look crazy, because you're constricting the blood flow to these areas that need as much blood flow as possible, especially right after surgery. So, just don't do it to yourself. I mean, like I said, 2 weeks was not the whole month that they would have preferred, but it was better than, nothing. You want to try to hold off if you smoke Fanta in your blunts, or if you smoke vape pens with nicotine. You want to hold off as long as possible, so that you can give your body as much time getting the optimal blood flow that it needs, okay? It's very, 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 very important. Like I said, I'm smoking my vape pen 1 month post-op, but I'm at a good point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm healing good. I haven't had any complications, so that's why I decided to start smoking my vape pen and putting Fanta back in my blunt. That is a decision solely based off of you as an individual. Do not do what you see someone else doing. If you see someone waiting a week, or if you see, like me, I waited 2 weeks, or do what when it comes to that, listen to your doctor. It would be best that you do what the doctors say and wait. Like my doctor said, wait a month. Some doctors have different time frames. It would be best if you do what your doctor says to do. But if you decide not to, when it comes to that, don't do what you see somebody else do. Make that decision on your own, based off yourself, based off your healing and what you physically see. Okay? I also want to throw that out there. What else? Silicone strips. Now, if you've done your research, you will see that people use a lot of different things for scarring after surgery. You can use like gels, silicone strips, lightening creams. They have so much different stuff. But we brought silicone strips, and I'll put a picture here. And I started using them, let's say, a little over a week post-op. Now again, this video is strictly to inform y'all on what they don't tell you, on my mistakes and what you should know. A mistake I made was putting those on too early. So I put those on, and I still had, my stitches were still not completely dissolved, and I still had scabbing on my incisions. That is what you do not want to do, and I will tell you why. You ever had a scab and you put a Band-Aid on it, and let's say you took a shower or went the whole day and you took that Band-Aid off, and now the scab is all ilky and it's wet, and it may even have a little odor, and it can have pus and all that nasty gunk? Yeah, that's what's gonna happen because your incisions are not fully closed. And that's what happened to me. So 2 of them, it was the ones under my breast right here, and the one right on the top of my bum. When I took off the silicone, because I put it on all of my incisions that first time, when I took them off, it was like gooky like that. The scab was all wet and ilky. It basically needed to breathe. At that stage, if you still have scabs and if you still have your stitches in and they have not dissolved, leave them uncovered. Leave them uncovered. I cannot stress this enough. They need time to breathe. That was a mistake that I made, and I want to make sure y'all don't make that same mistake. You don't want to cover them, not that early. The scab needs time to breathe. The stitches need time to dissolve, and it needs air and oxygen to do so and fall off naturally. You don't want to pull them out. You want to let them fall off naturally and dissolve, and fall off. Now, fast forward, the second time I used the strips, now I use them on my incisions, the ones that had fallen out, the incisions where the stitches fell out and were completely closed, and it was fine. So that is how I figured this out, basically, by trial and error. I waited until I had some stitches that were fully closed and that the stitch had dissolved in to try it out, and then it worked and it did the protecting like it was supposed to. So, and that also helps with, you're not keloiding. African American people have a tendency to keloid. I don't, but I just want to make sure I don't. So, that's what those can help with. And the discoloration, they can help lighten them from what they say. I guess I will be the judge of that on my own. But like I said, do not put those on too early. You want to wait till you don't have any scabs anymore and until your stitches are fully dissolved. What else? And I saved this one for last because, y'all, this one is like the crux of it all, like really the crux of it all. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna make it seem like it's better than it is. You will not get any good night's rest or sleep, okay? And I say this because for me, like, I have scoliosis. With that alone, I am not a stomach sleeper. I truly cannot sleep on my stomach because I will wake up in pain with that alone, okay? So you add that on top of not being able to sleep on your back or on your side because of the BBL. I am a month and 2 days post-op, and I have maybe had one good night's rest, and that was like recently, not in the beginning, okay? You just will not get a good night's rest because you're sleeping in a position that's not comfortable or familiar to you. You in your sleep, you're subconsciously trying to make sure you don't roll on your sides, and no matter what you do, sometimes it's never enough. I will say I had one breakdown. I woke up truly just in tears, crying because I couldn't get comfortable. And it sucks because it's like you're not in pain anymore from the BBL. You would think like, dang, like you would think this only happens like if I'm in pain or something. No, you're not in pain. You're in pain from sleeping on your stomach. You're uncomfortable from sleeping on your stomach. Your neck hurts, your back hurts, my freaking toes, things that I didn't even think. My toes get numb from being on my stomach and them sitting on the bed or laying on the bed like this, and just all kinds of stuff. Toes freaking sore, like things that you wouldn't even imagine. Like what the fuck? Like why am I going through this? And it sucks because you can't really be mad at anybody because we did it to ourselves. But I mean, and I can laugh and smile about it because, like I said, I did it to myself. I'm gonna complain. Let me not say that. I'm gonna complain and I'm just gonna get through it. But I need y'all to mentally prepare yourselves for it, and sometimes you may need to do, you may need to break down like I did that one night, just to get it all out. Like, what the fuck? Because that night I was really fed up. Like, I have not had a good night's rest, and I'm one of them people, sleep is very important, so like I need my rest, and I need a good night's rest at that. So I broke down that night, truly broke down. You would have thought somebody did something to me the way that I was crying. Like, it was bad, but I needed that. You know what I'm saying? It kind of gave me like a reboot, and now I just deal with the punches as they come. I brought two triangular pillows, and so I could lay over or try to lay on my back and elevate my bum. That did not work. There's plenty of videos on YouTube on how to sleep on your back and use the pillows and use the boppy and the this and the that. Listen, you do what works for you. For some reason, no matter what method I tried, no matter what pillows I bought and spent money on, it did not work for me. I truly think now that I'm at this point, about to be able to sleep back on my back in a couple weeks, I mean, I'm not going to spend the money now because I don't spend the money on all this other stuff. I'm going to make what I have work. But I truly feel like the only thing that would have worked for me was the blow-up bed, BBL bed that I was going to buy. But the reason I did not buy that and I tried all these other things was because you just don't know if your butt's going to fit in the hole. When you buy these things with the holes and these inflatables, like they have inches and stuff like that, but really, like when I'm actually in it, I don't want my sides being pressed on. I don't want none of that. So that's why I didn't really buy that. I tried the other methods of the pillows, the ones in the front, ones in the back, and then you have your butt kind of in the middle. I don't have one of them couches where I could, like, I've seen someone use two couches and they had their feet on one and their upper part on the other and then their butt like in the middle. That would have been, I feel like that would have probably worked for me too, but I don't have that kind of couch. My freaking couch is not a L sectional, it's a recliner couch. So it's just like, you depend on what furniture you got or what you think is best for you. You do what you think is best for you. But I'm just letting y'all know it's gonna be hard to get a good night's rest regardless. No matter what, you're probably not gonna have a good night's sleep for a while. I'm at a month and 2 days, and like I said, I've probably had 1, maybe 2 actual nights of good night's rest where I woke up and was like, I slept pretty good last night. Like, literally. Other than that, you're tossing and turning, you're in pain from sleeping on your belly, or your toes are numb, or you're itching, or you're hot, or a whole other laundry list of things that is going on. So just mentally prepare yourself for that beforehand, okay? So that is basically all of the things on my list that I feel like I needed to tell you guys, or that you should know, / what they don't tell you before having a BBL. Like I said, I'm sure there will be other things that comes up or that I will think about, and I will probably just do a part 2 video at that point, but I will make sure I write it all down and keep a mental note of it all, because like I said, I want y'all to be as informed as possible. Again, that is the main reason why I am vlogging this journey, is so that I can be that informational soundboard that I needed when I was doing my research for others, okay? So, as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. The next video I will be doing is my 1-month post-op update and how much everything costs, so stay tuned for that. Let me just show you guys my body. So see, when I get up off this BBL pillow, guys, like my thighs are really hurting. I usually don't even sit on it that long without getting up, but I didn't want to be up and down throughout the video. So let me just change my angle for you guys. As y'all can see, Gary's back there sleeping. So this is the spank that I told you guys about. So it's very, like, this is an extra small. You size down with this because it is a spank, so you want it to give you as much compression as possible. It is very tight. I need help putting this on. If I take it off and show you guys, it looks like it belongs on a toddler's body. Kid you not, okay? So this is the front. This is how I'm looking from the side. So this is what I mean when I say this is the only thing that I don't like about this spank. I love it otherwise, but the only thing I don't like is that it cups under my butt so much, and I still have 1 stitch in right here. So it kind of bothers that stitch. I'm constantly like pulling the cup, you know, the crease out of the, you know, pulling it out of my crease so that it's not on the stitch. I don't have a stitch on this side anymore. But yeah, this is what I'm looking like from the back. This is what I'm looking like from the side. You guys can kind of see here what I meant earlier when I told you about my rib. So because of the curvature in my spine, this rib pokes out higher. This is physically my rib. This isn't fat. This is my rib. Okay, if I suck in, you can see that's my rib. If you look on this side, it doesn't poke at all. And again, that is solely because of the curvature in my back. It just pushes everything forward. And the same goes for like my hips. You can kind of see, I hope the light isn't messing it up too much, that like my hips, one of them is kind of like, this one is kind of here on this side, and then this one is kind of like a little higher because of the curvature of my back. So those are things that you'll never be able to change no matter what. That is your body anatomy if you have like scoliosis or whatever other issue you may have. But even with that, I absolutely still love my results. I'll do one more spin for you guys. That's the side. That's the back. That's that side. Do some those angles for you. Like, I cannot wait to start, really what I'm waiting on, like I can start like squatting and stuff now. That is a misconception that you can't squat after BBL. You can squat because you're working out your butt muscles, not your fat cells in your butt. So you can work on your gains in your bottom on top of your BBL, because you will then just be maximizing your gluteus maximus, which is a muscle, not the fat cells that were put in your butt. So you can definitely, you know, squat and things like that. But the reason I haven't started is because once I'm able to start, I want to start doing it all. I want to be able to start working on my core, arms, and then thighs and butt. That's mainly what I'm going to work on when I start working out. My stomach, the skin is retracting very well. I started derma rolling, but I don't want to get too much into that because that will be my 1 month post-op. I'll explain all that good stuff. But my skin is retracting very well. I just bought a waist trainer. I will start waist training soon, not yet. But yes, this is the body, guys. With that being said, that is it for this video, you all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. I will see you in the next video. Love y'all.